road trip continues for the Houston Astros as they head to the Bay Area, not far from San Francisco. We take you across the bay to Oakland, California, where tonight, inside the Oakland Coliseum, the Houston Astros kick off a three-game series with the A's. Last time the Astros were here, things didn't go very well. They lost all four games. Hoping to turn that around tonight with Dallas Keuchel on the mound. The Astros and the A's for the first of three tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for the Astros. Kind of a disappointing series in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks coming in here, and hopefully they get things turned around.
Yeah, it was interesting. They outscored the Diamondbacks 12-7, but only came away with one win.
And when you take a look at what has happened for the Astros so far through 36 games, a lot of positives in terms of runs against right now. They're sitting at 103, and they've scored 166 runs. When you combine either 165 or more, 105 or less, since 1913, 105 seasons, only the 16 Cubs who won the World Series and this year's Astros have accomplished that feat. But not everything has been positive.
No, it hasn't. On the risk situation, those numbers could be drastically changed if these guys were doing just a little bit better in those runners in scoring position type situations. The frustration on Altuve's face shows the frustration in 2018 that the Astros have. Sometimes in baseball, it's okay to be passive-aggressive on the field, but right now they're just passive. A lot of swings and misses, a lot of takes, leading to a lot of strikeouts and some key situations.
Hopefully they'll score some runs for Dallas Keuchel. That has been an issue at times this year. Dallas hasn't had a whole lot of run support. Usually he does well against the A's. More on Dallas as we get ready for the first pitch between the Astros and the A's after this.
In 2018, trying to turn things around on this road trip after a couple of tough losses there in Phoenix. But in Oakland now, not a lot of offense yesterday. The Astros are hoping to come out and set a tone here early in the first inning of this one. Alex Bregman, though, did hit his second home run yesterday against the D-backs, and he has hits in his last 8 road games. He's our HEB No Player Does More as we look a little closer at what Bregman has done so far this year. He's actually taking a lot of walks this year if you look at those numbers, 4th in the American League. But getting his hits too. I talked to him about this as far as the walks go. He said, I'm just not getting a ton of strikes to hit. But what he's doing is he's not chasing them either. So taking those walks has been important now. If they could just get him in when he gets on base, this Astros offense would be good to go. Bregman played in 35 games this year, 36 game last year. He hit his first home run of the season. I just mentioned he hit his second home run of the year yesterday, not last night. But Bregman, in those first 35 games compared to last year, this is only the second time he has started the season in the majors. And we're looking at the comparison here. He's actually off to a pretty good start. On base percentage is sky high due to those walks for him, but RBIs up, runs are up, and the home runs are up. Not by much, but it's good to get him going. And if he can continue what he's done on the road, guys, these Astros will be in business, guys.
And those numbers ended up being pretty good at the end of the year, despite a little bit of a slow start last year. 284, 19 home runs, 71 RBIs, and he would steal 17 bags. He's in there tonight as we take a look at A.J. Hinch's lineup for this first game of a 3-game series against the A's. George Springer leads off in center field, followed by Jose Altuve. Carlos Correa will play shortstop and bat third. Yuli Gurriel in the cleanup spot. Alex Bregman hits 5. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitter, batting right-handed to start this game, will hit 6. Evan Gattis will DH. Josh Reddick is in right field, batting 8th. And Max Stassi hitting 9th behind the plate.
Left-hander Brett Anderson going for the Oakland A's. He was an Oakland A while ago, bounced around a little bit. Was with Toronto and Chicago Cubs last season, making his second start of the season. He started out in Nashville for these Oakland A's. He had 4 starts down there, only walked a couple of batters, and pitched relatively well last time he was out against Seattle, going 6 1/3, only walking 1 and striking out 4. He is heavy on the slider. He has 2 different fastballs with the sinker and the 4-seamer.
You see on his cap the initials GP, and he writes something behind the mound. GP Gretchen Piscotty, the mother of Stephen Piscotty, his teammate who passed away last night. Heavy on the minds of all these Oakland A's as they start play this evening. Stephen not with the team tonight as George Springer fouls one back to start this one. 62 degrees here at the Oakland Coliseum to kick off this 3-game series. Astros playing game 11 of 13 in a row, and they are in the midst of playing 26 games in 27 days. Coming off losing 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks as Springer grounds one fair down the left field line. George starts this game off with an extra base hit as he cruises into second with a leadoff double.
It's always a good sign when you get George on there early with the 2 thumbs up. MD Anderson shows you the first pitch away, and this one a mistake up in the zone, almost center cut. Not crushed, but perfectly placed down that line, putting George in scoring position early.
George snapping a little mini 0 for 7 slump as Jose Altuve will dig in at the plate. Altuve coming in batting .371 on the road, but has fared well against the A's this year, batting .500. Swings through that breaking ball. That's kind of in between speeds of where his slider normally is and where his curveball normally is. We only saw the slider in his last start. Jose thought that was low. Joe West, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire tonight, and he called that a strike, and Jose not happy at all with that.
And he just told Altuve, the MVP, to get in the box. You don't see Altuve this fired up that often. Down and in.
Now, you rarely see him have a discussion at home plate. On the ground towards short, backhanded by Simeon. Altuve retired for the first out.
Pitch usage is going to be brought to you by AT&T. Brett Anderson, we talked about on that mound. He likes to throw that slider. 35 pitches in that last outing against Seattle were of the slider. So 44% of the time he's throwing that slider. He only gave up 1 hit on it. A couple of curveballs mixed in there. And again, the fastball almost evenly split between a 4-seamer and a little bit of a 2-seamer with arm side run.
He'll favor the 4-seamer to the righties and that 2-seamer, as Blummer said, with the arm side run to the lefties. Carlos Correa will dig in there. Correa takes a pitch down and in for ball one. Carlos coming in with the best batting average on the road at .415. Also has an 1151 OPS on the road this year. Anderson, originally drafted by the team the Astros just saw, the Arizona Diamondbacks, in the second round of the 2006 draft, came over here initially to the A's in the Dan Herron trade. Multiple players going to Oakland for Dan Herron going to Arizona, and made his big league debut here with the A's in 2009. Second time around with the Oakland A's. This pitch gets away from the catcher Lucroy, and going over to third base is George Springer. No pitch bounces in there. It'll be a wild pitch charge to Anderson.
Trying to go down and in with that. I'm saying it's a slider, I guess. Wasn't much break to it, just kind of spiked it.
So what this does for Correa is it brings the infield in with a count of 2-1. Even though the numbers look good in that last start in Seattle, 6 1/3 innings, a couple of runs, there were a lot of hard hit outs in that game. As Correa takes one outside for a ball, it's 3-1. Carlos in the top 10 in the league in RBIs with 25. He's currently 9th. Good chance for him right here to drive a pitch at 3-1. Instead, he misses the zone, and it's a walk. First and third with one out.
Power player of the game is presented by TXU Energy. Yuli Gurriel, 8-game hit streak where he's hitting .375. It's good to see him doing that too. He actually probably could have a little bit better numbers, considering during that homestand he was really barreling up some baseballs, just getting some unfortunate luck, hitting it right at guys. Tried to do his part in Arizona, going to try and do it here with the runner at third base.
Anderson misses way up and away. That's 2 in a row that have not even come close to the zone. And Yuli with a count of 1-0. Yuli had to extend that hitting streak yesterday in just 2 at-bats. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Ended up getting 2 ABs, but he pops this one up on the infield. Matt Olson, the first baseman, puts it away for out number 2. Astros yesterday had a first and third no-out situation in that game against Arizona. Were unable to score a run after Altuve tripled, and Correa was hit by a pitch. And tonight they had first and third with one out. Now it's up to Alex Bregman, who will bat. Bregman riding a 5-game hitting streak. And he drills one, but he's out in front of it. It's foul.
I like it. Swing it. Runners out there. 2 outs. Get a pitch you can handle early in the count. Get the barrel to it. I know it was yanked foul, but I like the idea.
Dallas hasn't had much run support this year. Astros have scored 1 or fewer runs in all but 2 of his starts. Pitch down low to Alex. It's 1-1. 5 of the 7 the Astros have gotten shut out or scored just 1 run when Dallas has been out there. A's playing better lately. They've won 4 out of 5. Bregman takes a close one, but it's a ball. It's 2-1.
It's early. There's shadows. No, I don't know if there's any excuses.
3-1 the count.
I think LaCroix's having a conversation with Joe West also back there. Maybe asking what brand of coffee they have in the umpire's room.
Ball 4. Anderson walks Bregman, 2 batters after he walked Carlos Correa. Now the bases are filled with Astros. And Marwin Gonzalez will bat.
Batting in the 6th position.
You almost feel like that first swing of the AB for Alex Bregman kind of took Brett Anderson out of the strike zone. He got a little more cautious with him. So that can be effective too.
Hit a ball that hard right out of the gates in your bat.
Scare him out of the zone. Or force him to be a little more fine than leaving pitches up out over the plate.
Marwin 304 his last 16 games, batting with the bases loaded in the first and takes a strike on the inside corner. Grounded foul. Marwin down to the count 0-2. Marwin 2 of his 17 RBIs as a right-hand hitter this year, batting .219.
Astros as a team are hitting .245 against left-handed pitching. Right in the middle of the pack as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. They've hit 13 home runs against lefties.
Twenty pitches in, 10 balls, 10 strikes from Anderson tonight. Making his second start of the season with the A's after 4 in the minor leagues. Just signed in March 19th to a minor league contract. Ball's hit hard, base hit into the outfield. 2 runs will score. Bregman heads to third. Marwin gives the Astros the early lead on the 2 RBI single, and it's 2-0.
That was a mistake from Brett Anderson, and Marwin Gonzalez made him pay. We've seen him miss some spots in this inning. He wanted to go inside. You could see where LaCroix was set up. But the release point is up, out over the plate. Marwin up to the task, nice and quick. Just a bullet back up the middle. Not trying to do too much. Stay within yourself. That 2-strike count, put the ball in play. Good things happen.
Batting in the 7th position.
Early visit from pitching coach Scott Emerson.
Number 11, Evan Gaddis.
Now bring up Evan Gaddis. Gaddis going to the dirt for his rosin as he bats with no batting gloves. We saw him have that left hand slip off the bat in his last plate appearance over in Arizona. And he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Evan trying to snap an 0 for 10. He's also 1 for his last 17. Average has dipped below 200. Tried to hold up, and Marwin is picked off first. Will Bregman try to score? Yeah, now they have Bregman picked off third. 2 different guys are stuck in between bases, and Bregman is going to try and draw the obstruction call the day after he was called for obstruction defensively, and this inning is going to end.
You got to try.
That is hilarious. He tried to get the same call that the day before was called with A.J. Pollock running.
That was genius.
And he got no call from the umpire. Still 2-0. takes the mound in the bottom half of the first.
It's been a rough go for Dallas Keuchel. It's good to see some runs on the board early for him. Now he hopefully can settle in here at the Oakland Coliseum. On the season with 7 starts, he has a 1-5 record. ERA is under 4, and his ground ball percentage is not where we're accustomed to seeing it at 58%. Usually that ground ball percentage can get close to 65%.
Yeah, it's been a little unusual for Dallas, especially when you consider how well he's done against the A's, and last couple of starts against Oakland have not gone well. As he misses on the first 2 to Marcus Semien, it's 2-0. Semien leading things off, followed by Chad Pinder and Jed Lowry. And Marcus sends one to center field. Long run for Springer. Now he'll get there and call off Marwin Gonzalez for out number 1. Here is the starting lineup. Bob Melvin will send out there tonight against Dallas Keuchel. Chad Pinder will bat second. He has hit well this year against lefties. Jed Lowry hitting as well as anybody in baseball this season. Chris Davis in the cleanup spot. Matt Chapman is the third baseman. Matt Olson is at first. Mark Canna in left field. Jonathan Lucroy is the catcher. And Jake Smolinski gets the start in center. Pinder hitting .393 against lefties this year. Swings to the first pitch and sends Marwin back. Still going back at the track. Makes the play and braces himself in front of the fence for out number 2.
Maybe just off the end of the bat a little bit for Smolinski, but that was a good play by Marwin. He's not accustomed to playing in left field and having to go that far to catch a fly ball. It's exhausted.
No ground ball so far. A lot of room in the outfield here in Oakland.
Yep.
And in foul territory.
Just a little bit.
Infielders have a long way to go. They have to keep reminding themselves on foul balls, never give up on them. The stadium initially opened up for football 2 years before it was the home of the A's. Still the only stadium in the U.S. that has the NFL and Major League teams calling it home. That is until the move to Vegas for the Oakland Raiders.
Seems to be pretty good making that move to Vegas. The Knights are doing okay in hockey.
Yeah, they're already in the Western Conference Finals with a win yesterday over San Jose.
Trying to shock the world.
It's been a busy couple of days here. Oakland at home. San Jose Sharks just played a home game. And now tomorrow will be the Golden State Warriors at home. 3-0 the count to Jed Lowry. And Dallas walks his former teammate on 4 pitches. So Lowry, who had his first day off of the season yesterday, draws a 2-out walk in the bottom of the first. And now Keuchel will face Chris Davis.
Designated hitter, number 2, Chris Davis.
Davis coming in 1 for 18 in his career against Dallas, as you can see below his season numbers. That one hit is home run. Hits this one right back to Dallas, who catches it cleanly on one sharp hop. That was hit hard right back to the pitcher, and Keuchel showing that Gold Glove ability for the final out.
This
That is brought to you by Rooms to Go, where you'll save even more when you buy the whole room and delivery is fast and easy. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Second inning baseball. Astros on top 2-0 thanks to Marwin Gonzalez with a bases loaded 2 RBI single. Evan Gattis starting off with a strike. He was the batter last inning when Marwin was picked off first base, and eventually Alex Bregman would be caught in a rundown, and Bregman would be tagged out. This one off the end of the bat, cued towards first. Matt Olson makes the play, and that's out number 1. Bregman tried the same thing that happened to him defensively last night.
Marwin went on that ball in the dirt and they threw behind him. Eventually it turns into a rundown situation for both ball players, and Bregman running back towards Chapman decides to make contact with the catcher, and you could see LaCroix panicked a little bit. He's like, hey man, I'm out of the line. I love the fact that Alex had the awareness to be able to try and pull that off.
Alex called for obstruction in the game yesterday, and AJ saying he heard from the league afterwards, and by the letter of the law, obstruction can be called. Roberto Ortiz didn't see the fact that Pollock had reached out to make the contact, and Alex tried to do the same thing. Figured it worked against him defensively. Maybe it'll help him offensively. It's Josh Reddick with a base hit into right field. Reddick still has a lot of fans here in Oakland as he singles with 1 out in the second inning.
Batting in the 9th position, the catcher, number 12, Max Stassi.
That'll bring up Max Stassi.
Did you hear what they just called him over the PA?
What?
Stassi.
Stassi.
Well, this is Max Stassi until he hits the ball over the fence, and then we call him Maxwell.
I have to get that corrected. Pitch up and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Reddick on first base, 1 out. Pleasant evening here. We'll end up on the cool side before the end of the night, but 62 at game time. Stassi's hit well against lefties this year, and he drills one into center field. On the move is Smolinski, and he won't get there. He watches it bounce all the way to the wall. Reddick will be held up by Pettis at third, and Max Stassi, call him whatever you like, he doubles with 1 out in the second.
Maxwell, or maybe he wants to be called Stassi. He just hit a double with that name.
What's the standard for Maxwell? Just any extra base hit or any hit?
Anything positive.
Positive.
Yeah, I'm going positivity. Only on the offensive side.
Number 4, George.
That is a slider coming right back into that swing path of Max Stassi. Does a good job. Really don't have to think much when they throw it right at your barrel. It's nice.
Coming in batting .438 against lefties with a 12-14 OPS. And that both of those numbers go back up. Infield comes in for the second straight inning. George Springer, and Springer sends one down the line and left, but this one's pulled foul. George hit it deep enough to at least threaten to be a home run, but it certainly was deep enough to be a sac fly. Starting defense presented by Xfinity. Mark Canna's in left field. Jake Smolinski in center. Chad Pinder is in right. Marcus Semien, Matt Chapman the left side of the infield. Jed Lowry and Matt Olson the right side, and Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. Lucroy smothers that one as it bounces in there. George doubled his first time up. Astros jumping out 2-0, threatening for more.
Saw in the first game of that Arizona series, Astros jumping out early, getting to that 8-run lead, eventually winning game 1.
This ball's crushed to left field and well out of here. George Springer absolutely mashes that pitch to left field for a 3-run home run, and the Astros out early 5-0. My goodness, does he hit some long home runs.
They've got a new party deck out there in left field called the Treehouse, and he was trying to bring it down.
Number 27.
Man, oh man. Why so mean to the baseball, George?
That is going to be a fun exit velocity to look up, Blummer.
112 miles an hour off the bat. And you ready for this?
Yes.
This is your favorite part. Oh, not this part.
Well, there's a ground ball. You can still tell us.
We like to talk about hit probabilities, and it takes exit velo and launch angles into account. That was a 100% hit probability. Estimated 462 feet.
462?
462.
Longest of the year, right?
That is a bomb.
Because Correa hit one 446 at Minute Maid Park. I think 462 might be the long one of the year. Wow. That is.
He just told hitting coach Dave Hudgens, no, I didn't get all of that. That was just, I got it off the end of the bat. Might want to check the bat and see if it's broke. I'm kidding.
Correa hits one hard past Alex Cintron at first base.
Ooh.
Unless someone can recall and help me out on Twitter, I think 462 is the longest this year.
If I.
We're going to go
Say I may
deep
have
dive.
to do deep dive here.
All right, Blummer could go and StatCast deep dive and find out if the Astros have hit one further this year. Either way, it's 5-zip. And here's Carlos Correa. Chops one towards third. Could be a tough play for Chapman. He'll have to come in and hurry, and just barely out is Correa. And Carlos is like, wait a minute. I may have beaten that one out. AJ Hinch says, I will ask my video guys to see if we're going to review this one. And Joe Espada says, let's take a look. That's a good sign when they say it that quickly.
Do you want to have this conversation right now?
Yeah, what do you got?
The previous longest home run was off the bat of George Springer at 455 feet. He beat himself by 7 feet.
Nice. So you got the whole
MLB. Yeah, across baseball. Franchi Cordero has the farthest at 489 this season.
So George comes in the top 15, huh?
He will now creep into the top 10.
Nice.
Just ahead of Gary Sanchez.
He jumps into the number 9 spot.
Yep.
George Springer moves into the top 10 longest home runs of the season, and safe at first in the review is Carlos Correa. Correa knew it. I think some of the A's did as well. It only took 39 seconds, Blummer. Moving quick over there in New York tonight.
Yeah, they laid down that fiber optic wire.
There you go. A little 2-out infield hit for Correa, who's now been on base twice. And here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli takes one down low for a ball, 1-0. George Springer hits his 8th home run of the year. And the Astros have jumped on Brett Anderson for 5 in the first 2 innings. The count to Yuli. He popped up his first time up, and he sends one in the air, shallow left center field. Coming on is Canna, and he's there for the final out. But damage done.
It was done by George Springer. Base hit, a double, and then he absolutely annihilates that pitch from Brett Anderson. 462 feet to get the Astros ahead 5-0.
with 5 of them in the first 2 innings. Dallas has not had much run support this year as he delivers low to Matt Chapman 1-0. Chapman has good numbers against Keuchel, and Dallas is probably aware of that. 4 for 7, a couple of home runs. And he's 2-0 on Chapman here. Although Chapman, like a lot of the A's, has struggled lately. He's 1 for his last 25 overall. And he fouls that one off. It's 1-2. Dallas has a run support coming into tonight of 3.14 runs per 9, which is 10th lowest in the American League, and that included a 10-run performance by the Astros in Chicago. Chapman gets under this one on the infield. Correa puts it away.
This pitching performance is powered by Kubota. Dallas Keuchel, 2.88 career ERA versus Oakland, 3rd lowest among active pitchers. He's also done that in 17, now 18 games started. They have a .232 batting average against Dallas Keuchel, doing great work both here in Oakland, where he's got 7 starts coming into this ball game with a 3.14 ERA. So a lot of that damage being done again at Minute Maid Park for Dallas Keuchel.
Olsen slashes one foul the other way. Well, Dallas was part of that 4-game sweep handed to the Astros last September. The Astros had won their previous 10 games against Oakland in this stadium. And then the A's from September 8th through the 10th of last season swept them in a 4-game series as Marwin Gonzalez takes care of that fly ball. Matt Olson retired for the 2nd out.
Batting 7, left fielder.
It's good to see that edge percentage going up for Dallas Keuchel. That's what he does as a professional pitcher, is work off those edges with that sinker, slider, changeup. And oddly enough, with the soft contact number going up, it almost seems to have hurt him a couple times with some infield hits and some bloop hits just in front of some of the outfielders.
Yeah, I agree with you. Some bad luck is in the mix this year for Dallas, and you know, he'll admit a few too many home runs allowed at this point. Last 2 starts against the A's, they combined for 4 home runs. Going back to last year and this year, his last start against Oakland, Oakland got him for 3 home runs after he retired the first 13 batters of that game. That was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde start for him on April 27th. Here's Mark Canha with a 1-1 count. How many times does Dallas start a game with 4 fly ball outs before he gets his first ground ball out? That's the case tonight. It's 1-2.
Glad your pass list finally showed up.
Drummers?
Yep.
Drummers are here, not in full force, but
just enough.
Just enough to hear them. There's our first ground ball. Bregman on 2 hops. And a high throw over the glove of Yuli Gurriel. And Canha will reach on the 2-out error.
The unfortunate part about this is that usually Alex Bregman is pretty consistent over there. This one airmailed a little bit. Thankfully, it was knocked down. Just short arms it every once in a while when he gets those feet set and has a little too much time to throw it. But on our Mattress Firm Supermo, it's actually pretty good that Yuli gets a little bit of the glove on there, because if he doesn't, it might turn into a double, possible triple.
Yeah, with his foul territory. To his credit, Stassi was doing a pretty good job hustling down the line to back it up.
And that's another part of catching here at, I almost called it about 3 different names, but the Oakland Coliseum, is that you've really got to hustle as a catcher to back up these throws.
There's one on the ground. Dallas did have a ground ball in the first inning on the comebacker by Davis, and now he gets another one to end the 2nd inning. This one off the bat of Jonathan Lucroy. So an error, but Dallas has no problem getting through the 2nd.
Alex Bregman, 36th game last season, was in New York on that Mother's Day and Derek Jeter Day. A lot going on, and he got off the schneid. First home run of the season. Got a home run going oppo taco into the pool area on this road trip in Arizona.
Yeah, hit the pool deck yesterday. That was the only run the Astros would score in the second inning of that game. And Bregman hit a loud foul ball his first time up, and then he would draw a walk from Brett Anderson. Alex down on the count here, 0-2. It'll be Alex and then Marwin Gonzalez, who had the first two runs batted into the game. And then Evan Gattis. Alex drawing his 23rd walk of the season. His first time up, and that's 4th in the American League. Down to the count here, though, 0-2. Pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Anderson last year splitting time between the Cubs and the Blue Jays. Really struggled those first two innings like he has tonight. Had an ERA above 7 the first two innings. Ball towards short. Simeon backhands it and makes the play to retire Bregman for out number 1.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to the Miller Lite Hold True moment later in tonight's game. Already got a couple options here early in the game. See if Marwin can swing himself into the moment. He's got a big swing already in this game. Base hit up the middle for a couple of stakes.
Up to 19 now for Marwin in the RBI department. And he hits one hard but foul past Gary Pettis. This one chopped at the plate, foul. A little bit low, it's 1-2.
The average exit velo against Brett Anderson in his first start of the year was 94 miles an hour.
That's what I was saying. The numbers look much better, right? There's a line drive into right field for a base hit.
Yeah, somehow he got out of there unscathed.
A lot of line drive outs, I guess.
It's amazing. Yeah, and the hard hit percentage in that game at 53%.
Still really good numbers. Sometimes the numbers can not always tell the story now that we have the additional StatCast numbers. That base hit by Marwin ended up right where Gary Pettis was hitting fly balls earlier today. Julia might have more on that.
Yeah, Gary had a special guest in the clubhouse today. A special guest for all of us, Dante Pettis. His son was recently drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. Played at Washington, was a great punt returner for them and receiver. Got to hang around the guys today, and I think this is the first time all these Astros have seen him, and they've seen him around. Every time we go to Seattle, he would, of course, join the team and even get in the cage sometimes. But today it was good for these players to be able to go up to him and congratulate him, as they've been around, and are very happy for him as well as Gary. A very exciting time for the Pettis family.
Yeah, Dante was out there shagging in center field, playing a little outfield for his dad, and there's a double play ground ball at the bat of Evan Gattis to end the third. We head to the bottom half of the third, still 5-0.
This is what we're used to seeing, is some phenomenal plays, especially from Alex Bregman moving to his right. And it's unique the way the Astros position their third baseman more in that 5.5 hole. Really expands that right side for Alex to go do some work. And with these shifts, an athletic Carlos Correa moves all over the diamond, picking up his pitchers, namely Dallas Keuchel. That was a big game in Seattle for Keuchel, getting a lot of ground balls to Carlos. These guys are consistently good at making the extra hard play look easy.
Yeah, this is the defense that's led all of baseball, and Alex has made some great plays this year. He's also had a share of errors on more routine plays, as Carlos Correa has been brilliant at shortstop this year, making the play for the first out of the inning on Jake Smolinski. I think of all the things that have been impressive in 2018, seeing Correa improve defensively is right up there near the top.
Yeah, big hats in the house. But you're right. Carlos Correa, I think, understands that he can always improve, and maybe it's because he's hanging around that other guy that plays second base. Jose Altuve is his name. We've watched him progressively get better year after year after year, and it's unique to see Carlos Correa now with Joe Espada working on that first step, and it's really paid off.
Yeah, we have seen him with better range. A lot of that has to do with the first step that you speak of. He made a phenomenal play on that recent homestand against the New York Yankees. Going deep into the hole.
Yeah, and if you have a chance, I know it's tough on TV to watch these guys as they're standing behind in between pitches. But even just now, wow, right through the wicket. So Altuve, usually a pretty good infielder.
And Altuve is going to give him a hard time, I bet, because Altuve and Pedrique have a great relationship. But go ahead.
Well, Altuve, part of the reason he's here was because of Al Pedrique taking a chance on him. So, but anyways, getting back to the conversation, in between pitches, there is always a conversation or camaraderie between Altuve and Correa. So when you go to the games, fans at home, when you show up at Minute Maid Park, make a point to watch these guys in between pitches. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of chatter. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes they're yelling at each other. A lot of times it's talking about the game of baseball and how to get some outs behind their pitchers.
There's a ball deep in the hole. No chance for Correa there. Made a diving effort, but Simeon has a base hit as he singles to left. That's the first hit of the game for the A's. Come out to Minute Maid Park this Friday through Sunday when the Astros renew their rivalry with the Rangers in the Lone Star Series. For tickets, visit astros.com/tickets. But I think when you discuss the fact that there's downtime in the game, those are some little things you can watch as a fan in between pitches that are kind of cool. And I agree with you. Those guys communicate as well as anybody. Dallas knocks it down, hustles off the mound, still makes the play. That's a guy that had that clock rolling in his head and knew how much time he had, as Dallas didn't field it cleanly but still got the out.
Still amazes me at how well he gets in position after letting go of the baseball. Very reminiscent of Mike Hampton when he was with the Houston Astros. Guy who after release would really square up to home plate, but then again the awareness and the quickness of hands of Dallas Keuchel to just knock that ball down enough to where he could go make a play on it.
2 outs, a runner on second, and here's Jed Lowry. I promised you in the last Keuchel start I was going to ask AJ Hinch about whether Keuchel impacts the shift. And he said I did. And AJ said he's the only pitcher that we have that impacts the shift. He will not crowd the middle as much, knowing that Dallas is going to get to almost every ball back through the mound.
That's awesome. And that's a credit to Dallas Keuchel. He's earned that right.
And there's other good fielding pitchers, but nobody does it quite like Dallas. And there's a foul ball. It's 1-1.
When those pitchers release the baseball, they're another 8-9 feet closer to home plate. So they've got to react extremely quick, and Dallas Keuchel puts himself in a good position, because that ball from Chad Pinder was hit at 102.7 miles an hour right back to him at about standing about 50 to 51 feet away, and he reacted so quick.
I was going to go back and look at the first ground ball, because Davis hit the ball pretty hard back to Dallas too. That was well played on a comebacker in the first inning.
That was actually hit harder. Now that I pulled it up, it's 100. The one that Chris Davis hit that he caught clean,
yeah,
by the way, 109.5 miles an hour.
So 109.5 for a guy standing about 50.
Say 50 to 52 feet away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fielded it cleanly.
Made it look easy.
Yeah, no problem. I got it. That's why he won 3 straight Gold Gloves. There's a ball in the dirt. Simeon does not advance, not far away from Stassi. I think what hurt Dallas last year, not enough innings pitched, so he wasn't one of the names on the ballot. Hopefully he gets to that threshold this year, because he certainly deserves consideration every year as the best fielding pitcher. Dallas had his string of 3 straight Gold Gloves snapped last year. 2-2 the count. And swinging and missing is Lowry. So after walking Lowry his first time up, Dallas comes back to strike him out. That's Dallas's first strikeout of the game, and we're through 3.
And WTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. West Texas, May is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big. You were just seeing video of Josh Reddick before the game being presented with an A's jersey, but it was the 50th anniversary team jersey that he was presented with. The A's fans voting on that last year, and they're celebrating their 50th this year. 1968 is when the A's started playing in the Coliseum here, and Josh loves coming back to Oakland, has a lot of great relationships with the people in this organization, and was just thrilled to be named as one of the greats. There are a lot of big names, he said, in this organization, a lot of legends, and then a lot of current players who are really good to be surrounded with. And guys, Josh, if you ask him, you know, where things started to go right for him in his career, he goes back to his first year here, 2012, hit a lot of home runs, struck out a lot, but that's where he decided, you know, I like having the power, but I don't like the strikeouts. Became much more of a complete player. Of course, the defense was good too, but that's who we're seeing now. We're seeing that Josh Reddick being a more complete player, and of course having an excellent year for the Astros, but he does look back on his time here as being crucial to that.
Yeah, it was a fun ride for Josh as a member of the A's, and they certainly still love him here, although when he's in an Astros uniform, not cheering quite as loudly, but they gave him a lot of appreciation when he was honored before the game, and whenever he goes out to right field, those guys that bang the drums out there always greet him out in right or in wherever he may be positioned. There you see the group that is a steady.
Hey, they like Gary Pettis. Just kidding.
There's the ball down the line, fair ball, all the way towards the corner. Rounding second and heading to third is Josh Reddick. Pettis is going to wave Josh home, and the relay throw will be not in time. Head first slide for the former A. And the Astros now lead 6-0. Stassi, a couple of doubles in this game with the RBI.
Stassi's met his match, and Brett Anderson, he likes it. Giving the left-handed hitting catcher Brian McCann a night off. Turns on this one, snakes it down that third baseline past Matt Chapman, and it's off the races for Josh Reddick. McCann does his best to sneak that thing out of the hole, out of the corner in left field. And a lot of the play that we see from Josh Reddick here in this game so far is what the A's fans have become accustomed to.
The natural sound of the oven mitt crossing the plate is a thing of beauty. Here's a ground ball past Simeon into left field. George Springer on for the third time. A double, a home run, and now a single. And the Astros keep getting base runners on against Brett Anderson.
Longest home runs this season, Franchi Cordero of San Diego at 489, and then down on that list at 9th is George Springer with that 462-foot blast last time he was up. Might be having a chat with Matt Olson about it. Some mutual admiration as far as home runs are concerned.
Yeah, the big man Olson can drive the ball pretty far, but 462 is a number that not a lot of people reach.
And I feel terrible about that Gary Pettis comment, because I know it's Gretchen Piscotty who just passed away, Stephen Piscotty's mom. But I was thinking about earlier in the inning when Dante Pettis was talked about, so I apologize for that. There was no intent behind it. And you and I have talked at great lengths about the Stephen Piscotty situation and how great it was that Maziliak in St. Louis worked with Forrest here to create that trade to get him back home so that he could be in touch with his family and be there for his mom.
Hey, you were the one that brought it to my attention when the A's were in Houston at Minute Maid Park, and you shared that story with the fans, and then we shared tweets last night, not knowing.
That story, it gets me every time.
Wow, the amazing grace. If you haven't seen it, you can check us out at Real Todd Callis at Blummer 27. We posted it both last night, not knowing as things would transpire that we would lose Gretchen Piscotty last night, but it was a very sad moment for all of Major League Baseball, and especially the family of the Oakland Athletics, and especially the Piscotty family. So our thoughts and prayers
absolutely
go out to them. 2 on with nobody out, and Jose Altuve down in the count 0-2. He's grounded out a couple of times tonight. Astros on top 6-0 in this game. And Altuve makes it 7-0 with a line drive base hit to left. The Astros, who struggled to score runs in the last 2 games in Arizona, are coming out hitting tonight, and that'll be the last batter that Brett Anderson will see, as Bob Melvin is out of the dugout. Altuve with his 17th RBI of the year. So we'll have a pitching change and tell you about the new A's pitcher when we come back.
August 21st of 2015, Mike Fiers no-hitter against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The only one at Minute Maid Park.
That was the last time that Brett Anderson was a starter against the Astros. So good things happen when Anderson starts against Houston. Fiers the no-hitter on the 21st, and today the Astros have jumped out 7-0. In the top half of the fourth, and Carlos Correa will face the new pitcher, Chris Hatcher.
Chris Hatcher on with his fastball averaging 94 miles an hour, curveball, cutter, slider, splitter. He's got some work ahead of him.
And he starts off Correa with a fastball on the edge. 0-1. Carlos has been on twice. He walked and he had an infield single, a play that was overturned on a review. Astros with 7 runs, already 10 hits in the first 4 innings. Carlos takes another fastball for a strike, and he's down to the count 0-2. Here's a guy standing at second base that is 3/4 of the way to the cycle in the 4th inning.
It's a little early to be talking about cycles.
George Springer has a double, a home run, and a single in this game. This is a place where if you put a ball into the gaps here, it's pretty deep in the outfield. Correa fights one off, and the throw goes wide of second base. They had a potential double play. Instead, a run's going to score. And it's now 8-0 on the fielder's choice, and error by the first baseman, Matt Olson.
Defense is an issue for the Oakland
Now
A's.
batting, number 10, Yuli Gurriel.
Just an excuse me swing from Carlos Correa, and Matt Olson just yanked that throw. A lot of times you want to see, if you're playing the infield at first base and you're on the outside of the bag, as a shortstop, I'm going to go to the outside of the bag and anticipate the throw on the outside. And Simeon wasn't anticipating this ball coming to the inside that far, unable to adjust.
So that still means there's nobody out in the inning. Runners on the corners now in this 8-0 game, and Yuli Gurriel the batter. He's not in last in errors, but they're towards the bottom of the pack as their 23rd team error. Texas has committed the most with 30. Ball bounces in there, and Yuli with a 1-0 count. Yuli has popped up to first and flied out to left. A lot of offense in 4 innings of work.
I thought you were going to read all that off for us.
Still 3 guys that need to get on the board, including Yuli, riding an 8-game hitting streak.
No time like the present.
Well, it's good to see the Astros really struggled. Lost yesterday 3-1, had a couple of scoring opportunities go by the board. The first and third nobody out situation. And even though they came back in the game Saturday to tie it at 3, that's still not a lot of offense for this Houston team. And they lost 4-3 and a walk-off. So tonight to jump out with 8 runs in a place that has been good at times to them and other times has been a difficult place to play.
Big leads here are a good thing, because in the past there's been some issues down the road towards the end of some of these ball games, and they have gone out and scored these runs in bulk at times, matching the run total that they had in the first game of this road trip in Arizona with 8. But you'd really like to see it start to pace itself out and become more consistent. I'm not complaining.
Right. I'm
enjoying the heck out of this right now, and I will the rest of the game. But that guy right there, A.J. Hinch, wants to see this offense be this potent for 6-7 days in a row. Or months.
Inside ball 4. Bases are loaded as Yuli draws a walk.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. There you go.
Number 2, Alex Bregman.
Astros leaders with runners in scoring position. Jose Altuve, saw him get a big base hit earlier. Yuli is another guy. But Alex Bregman, and this is one of those things that we were talking about when he got the quote-unquote demotion out of the second spot in the lineup into the 5-6 spots in that lineup meant more RBI opportunities, and he's taken advantage of it.
And he grounds one to second. This will be a double play, but on the play, the run will score. Altuve crosses the plate, no RBI for Bregman. But it's now 9-0.
I love when baseball blows holes in my stories.
Oh, such a good story.
I really felt like I got the words out in a consistent rhythm and a good cadence.
And the other thing, didn't we already show his grand slam last year in game 36? So we had that going for us. We had all of our stories wrapped into Alex Bregman hitting a slam, and it didn't quite work out. Here's Marwin Gonzalez.
But there are 9 runs on the board, so
we can laugh about it.
Yes.
When you can laugh about a double play is when it's 9-0. Marwin takes one down low. Marwin's had 2 hits already. 2 RBI single to left and a single to right. Both as a right-hand hitter, now turning around and hitting left-handed. Correa, the runner on third base. Reaching on a fielder's choice, and then the Astros scoring a run on an error. Strike called. It's 1-1.
Well, how about this? Already in the game, the Astros are 4 for 8.
There you go.
That's a good number.
That is a good number.
Get that season number of 256 to keep climbing. They came into this game at 249, 14th in Major League Baseball.
Well, this is one of the numbers we showed you in our open. The runners in scoring position, 2 outs, too. That's been problematic this year, too. But today a little better with Marwin with that 2 RBI single in the first inning. See if he can come through again with a 2-out hit. Hatcher, 33-year-old right-hander, taking over in the 4th inning for Brett Anderson. Marwin stays with a count of 1-2. Not a lot of American League action tonight on this Monday evening. This game and the Rangers at home to the Tigers, the only 2 American League games. The Twins are also playing in St. Louis in an interleague game. The rest of the AL with the night off. Astros coming in trailing the Angels in the AL West. That's down low for a ball. It's 2-2. Astros starting the night 1 game behind the Angels and a half game ahead of the Mariners. Both those teams off, so the Astros could gain a half on both. Up 9-0 with Dallas Keuchel on the mound in the 4th inning.
The Astros have played a lot of baseball in the first couple months.
The games played is crazy.
Yeah, every time I'm filling out my scorecard and it's 37, 38 games played and everybody else is in the early 30s.
Marwin deep to right field. That ball will be gone. Marwin Gonzalez, a 2-run home run, making it 11-0. And Marwin has 4 RBIs on the night.
Have yourself a night, Marwin Gonzalez. Third home run of the season for Marwin. Well struck, fouling off some tough pitches in that 2-strike count. Gets one he can handle and launches it with a 2-strike count.
Marwin 3 for 3 with 4 runs batted in. And again, we're in the 4th inning.
Oh yeah, 2-out Risp.
There you go. He's done it both times.
That is awesome. That's another number that Astros drastically need to pick up. Came into this game with 2 outs and runners in scoring position at 179, 28th in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Those are uncommon places to see an offense this talented.
Marwin driving in 2 with a bases loaded single in the 1st inning, and then 2 more with a 2-run home run in the 4th, both with 2 outs. Now Evan Gaddis down to the count 0-2. He hits the ball hard. That's a base hit to right. Evan Gaddis gets into the act, snapping an 0 for 12, and he's a 2-out base runner.
Go back to Marwin's swing. 102.7 miles an hour off the bat. That Mattress Firm Supermo shows you the 4-seam fastball from Hatcher coming in. And again, a missed spot up out over the plate. But we know history tells us that Marwin is very good at hitting the heater. And when he's ready and those hands are back and ready to fire, he can pummel it.
Here's Josh Reddick. Marwin with 4 RBIs. Springer with 3 hits and 3 RBIs. Those guys combined are 6 for 6 with 7 runs batted in and 2 home runs. Here's Reddick. Just named to the A's 50th anniversary team, and he has singled and walked and scored 2 runs against his former team. Fans voted for him, but he keeps playing like this against them. It's probably a good thing they voted before this game.
He's going to lose some votes.
68-18, the Oakland A's celebrating 50 years. Three and 0. Reddick started this inning with a walk. He came in on Max Stassi's double. Stassi with 2 doubles tonight. The number 9 hitter might bat for the 3rd time in this game in the 4th inning, as Reddick has a 3-0 count. There's a strike.
Well, at this rate, George is going to have 3 more chances to get that triple.
I'm saying there's a chance. This is a good stadium, putting the ball in the gaps to get triples.
It's a good call, Lloyd.
Tell me there's a chance. That's a high pop-up. So Stassi won't bat in this inning unless Smolinski drops it, which he does not. Puts it away for the final out. Marwin Gonzalez
doing his best to continue to pile on here at Oakland Coliseum. A deep drive to right. Another RBI hit with 2 outs. Beautifully done.
Bottom half of the fourth inning, Chris Davis taking a called strike. Dallas Keuchel working with 11 runs tonight. 5 of his 7 starts, his team has scored 0 or 1 runs. Tonight, 11. He did have a start in Chicago where they scored 10. It's been all or nothing with Dallas on the mound.
He's another guy that would like to see them pace themselves a little more and be consistent.
Spread those out a little, boys. Because at the end of the day, his average runs per start is going to look good, but it's really all in 2 of his 7 starts, or 2 of his 8 starts now. As Davis takes one down and in for a ball, it's 1-2. Astros sending 10 men to the plate in the 4th inning, scoring 6 runs. Davis grounded back to Dallas on a sharp ground ball his first time up. This one grounded towards Bregman. Alex from foul territory makes a wide throw, and safe at first is Chris Davis. That was a tough chance for Alex. That one was from foul territory and on the move. They are going to charge him with an error. That's the 7th error of the year for Bregman in the 2nd of the game.
Yeah, moving to right is usually where we see him be quite good. Huh.
I'll bring up Matt Chapman.
Whereas before I say that's not an easy play that he makes look easy. Now that's not an easy play that ended up being an error.
Gets another chance. This time he fires a strike to Altuve, and Altuve has the easy part. Jose points to Alex and saying, way to get it started.
Well, and that's what you like to see too, because as a infielder, you make an error. The guys that are good want the ball hit to them immediately so that things like that can happen. You can erase that error, get the double play out of the way, and help your pitcher out like you usually do.
Love Altuve too. He knows Alex is struggling tonight with a couple of throws, and we put that one on the money, and Altuve made sure he pointed at him and recognized, there you go, you're right back in there. Here's Matt Olson. Dallas gets a strike. So far, there have been 4 base runners for the A's. 2 have reached on errors, a walk and a single. Only 1 runner as far as second base. And chopped it foul at the plate. Olson down to the count 0-2. Speaking of lack of run support, Dallas coming into this game with that sub-3 ERA in his career against Oakland. 17 starts, you would think he'd be 11-6 or 12-5. He's 5-5.
Yeah.
Sub-3. Should be a lot of W's, but that's the fickle nature of wins for a starter. Gotta have some offensive help too.
It always seems that these series against Oakland always end up being interesting, especially in this ballpark. Whereas Dallas could have some great games, come out of the game at the lead, and all of a sudden they're squandered.
Dallas ends up with an easy inning. After the error, he gets a double play and a strikeout, and a quick bottom half of the 4th. It's all Astros.
Chevy Stroh poll. Remember, we're on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. Which team has been the biggest early season surprise? Is it the Atlanta Braves, who are first place in the NL East, the Phillies, the A's, or the Blue Jays, who are third behind the Red Sox and the Yankees? Tweet us. It's the pinned tweet. Our poll is, as it is every day, and we'll let you know who wins later in the broadcast. TK?
You know who I'd vote for?
You gonna tell us?
Yeah. They're 19 and 14, and they're leading the NL East.
The Braves?
Yeah.
Pretty surprising how good young talent can go out there and play.
Just jumping out strong. I know they've lost 3 in a row coming into today. They did not have a game scheduled today, so they are still riding a 3-game losing streak. But still, it's a pretty good start. Doing it with some good numbers on the road. Max Stassi already has 2 doubles on the night, but he will not have a 3rd hit in this at bat as he starts the 5th by flying out to right. I already have a question for Julia for Twitter Tuesday too, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow because it's Twitter Tuesday.
Oh, I get it.
Or
Tuesday.
midnight.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till midnight if we get there.
Let's not.
Here's George. That means we'd have to be here till 10 o'clock West Coast time. George has a chance, needs a triple for the cycle. He'll have at least 2 more at bats, barring AJ not having any fun tonight and deciding to lift George. We could have Julia yell at him if that happens, because she's right down there and AJ's kind of hanging out by the cameras. It's 0-1.
And Julia's known for yelling at managers.
I was going to say, since when has that been a part of my job?
There's a lot of respect and love down there AJ has for all of us at AT&T, I hope, but especially Julia.
Not if I yell at him.
I'd say that might tarnish it a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing. There are times, and I'm not accusing AJ or anybody, but there are times I've seen a manager lift a guy not even realizing cycles in play.
Yeah, they're thinking about tomorrow.
Right. They're not really as concerned as maybe a broadcaster or that individual player. George fouls one back. Well, it'd be fun if George hits one in the gap to see if he gives it a shot. I'm sure he's aware. George with a double, a 3-run home run, a single. He has knocked in 3. He has scored 3. Down and in. Chris Hatcher in his first full inning of work took over in the 4th inning. Of those 6 runs last inning, 2 of them would be earned against the Oakland pitching staff. The other 4 unearned with that error committed by Matt Olson. It's what looked like it could have been a double play ground ball off the bat of Carlos Correa. Kind of opened up the rest of the inning. Down and in, 2-2.
Hatcher trying to power some splits in there to get the swing and miss from George, but he's locked in right now.
Hatcher, a guy who split his time last year. Began the year with the Dodgers, traded to the A's in the middle of August. Check swing, and Hatcher bobbles it. Nobody's covering first. That's kind of the way things have gone for the A's today. Pitcher bobbled it, and nobody was covering, so George reaches.
Yeah, it seemed that the first baseman for the Oakland A's was going over there to help out on that ground ball, not assuming that Hatcher would be able to pick it up.
Now batting, number 27.
They're going to give George a base hit.
It's good officiating.
George has 4 hits. Same as his number, and we're only in the 5th inning. Here's Jose Altuve, who is incredibly jealous right now of that base hit. Those are usually reserved for him.
George has gotten a couple of these.
Yeah, he has.
Those infield hits on this trip.
He has a couple infield hits, and he has that pop fly that he didn't know where it was that ended up being a hit.
Yep.
So as much as he likes to give Jose Altuve a hard time about low exit velocity hits.
What if? There's still plenty of time left in this game. What if George cranks out his 5th hit in one game for a cycle with a triple. Then he'd have all kinds of juice coming into that conversation with Altuve.
Altuve hits it pretty well, but into center field where Smolinski is there. Sounded better off the bat, didn't really carry. Altuve now 1 for 4 with an RBI single. And there's 2 outs in the inning.
I thought that ball was hit a little bit better too.
Number 1,
Bring up Carlos Correa. Carlos 1 for 2, increasing that road batting average. Best in baseball, coming in at 415. Popped up on the infield. Jed Lowry. And that's it for the 5th. Halfway home, Astros leading 11-0. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. Dallas Keuchel with a big lead heading into the bottom half of the 5th inning. 11-0 Astros. Dallas so far has only allowed 1 hit and 1 walk through 4 as he faces the 7, 8, 9 hitters Mark Canha, Jonathan Lucroy, and Jake Smolinski. That last outing for Dallas against Oakland was a strange one. He had gone through the first 13 batters of the game in that start at Minute Maid Park without allowing a base runner. But then the A's got to him for a Matt Chapman home run in the 5th, a Chad Pinder home run in the 6th, and a Mark Canha home run in the 7th. Solo shot, 2-run home run, 2-run home run. And next thing you knew, Dallas was out of the game, having allowed 6 runs in 7 innings. His offense had only scored him 1 run that night. Tonight, a little different story with Dallas up 11-0. But he's down in the count to Canha, 3-1. There's a strike. Stassi. Good job keeping that a strike on the low pitch. It's 3-2. On the ground, Altuve 2 hops. And there's 1 away in the 5th.
Come out to Minute Maid Park this Friday for the best fireworks show in town. Friday night fireworks presented by Occidental Petroleum will be synced to 90s pop themed music after this Friday's Astros Rangers game. Todd will be there, so visit Astros.com/Friday nights for tickets.
Friday night fireworks. Always a good time. Astros back home for just 3 games the weekend, and then back on the road. They'll be home for 3, and then on the road for 3, and then back home for 5. Jonathan Lucroy, the batter. He grounded back to Keuchel his first time up on a nice play by Dallas. Dallas falling behind his second batter of the inning, 2-0. Well, Dallas's command has been less than ideal in this inning with a big lead. He's fallen behind the first couple of batters, able to bounce back and get Canna, but he's 3-0 here on Lucroy. There's a strike. Ball 4. You can tell Dallas is frustrated with himself. Just unable to have that pinpoint command that he had the first 4 innings. Falling behind a couple of hitters and walking Lucroy in this 11-0 game.
Now batting center fielder, number 5.
Yeah, that's part of the frustration, is knowing that he has that 11-run lead and he's not pitching around anybody, but he definitely wants to pitch to contact and force these guys to hit their way on.
Here's Jake Smolinski. He has not had a lot of chances to play this year. Just 3 for 29 coming in. Grounded short his first time up. There's a strike from Dallas. He is now, with that ground out, 5 for 14 against Keuchel in his career. Coming into tonight's play, the Astros offense averaging 3.84 runs per game at home this year. And with tonight's 11 runs, even if they don't score another run the rest of the night, the road average is 5.78. Oh. So nearly 2 runs a game more on the road than at home. And we saw similar numbers last year. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
For whatever reason, the Astros offense comes alive away from Minute Maid Park. Smolinski goes down swinging, chasing a pitch in the dirt, and he is out number 2. Dallas now with 3 strikeouts, 1 in each of the last 3 innings.
And then in the playoffs, those numbers completely flipped back to the home side, where they played extremely well and scored some runs at home.
By the end of the year, because of their postseason numbers, they ended up with the exact same record at home and on the road. It completely flipped in the playoffs because their regular season record was much better on the road. Here's Marcus Semien. Kind of crazy that they played the exact same number of games and had the exact same record home and away, getting that final win in LA. Semien is 1 for 2. He has the only hit of the night for the Oakland A's. A single pass to diving Carlos Correa in the 3rd inning. One and 2 the count.
Is that Crazy Train they're playing? Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. Sorry, I'm somewhere else right now.
Could be.
Add a little extra vocals to the beat.
They got to drum up some sort of interest because their team has not been doing.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Blummer.
That was awesome. 1-0 TK.
Your team has not been doing much to entertain the crowd. That's a foul ball down the 3rd baseline. So home last year, regular season, 48-33, and that included the 3 games played at a neutral site that were home games at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg due to Hurricane Harvey, and then 53-28 on the road. postseason, they would add 8 wins to that total at home and only lose 1 game. Ball's hit to Correa. Carlos slips a little bit, but gets it to Altuve. That'll do it for the A's. Through 5, it's 11-0.
Presented by Houston Methodist. Enjoy pregame food and wine tastings with a special ticket package before the Astros game on Friday, May 11th. The first 500 attendees get a Pinot in the Park wine charm. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/Pinot. TK.
All right, Julia, we go to the 6th. And the Astros are out in a big way tonight. 2 runs in the first, thanks to Marwin Gonzalez, 2 RBI single, 3 in the second, thanks to George Springer's 3-run home run. 6 more in the 4th inning, thanks to a lot of guys, including Marwin with a 2-run home run. And here we go into the 6th. Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez. Yuli swings and fouls one out of play. A's have made a change defensively in this 6th inning. Chad Pinder taken out of the game and moved over from right field to third base. Matt Joyce moving into right field. That gives the rest of the night off to Matt Chapman. So Pinder to third, Joyce to right as we start the 6th. And right away, Pinder gets a chance and he drops it. Yuli thought it was caught, so he was heading back to the dugout. But Pinder able to recover in time to get the out.
It's amazing how that baseball will find you.
Comes a little quicker at third than in right.
Now batting, number 2, Alex Bregman.
Well, Yuli's still looking for his first hit. And that'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman has walked, grounded out, and grounded into a double play. A run scored on that double play to make it 9-0. Hatcher breaks one in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Not many came out to see the defending world champions tonight here at Oakland Coliseum. 7,360 on a Monday night as Bregman grounds one to second and Hatcher with 2 outs in the 6th. Time to play Name That Astro, brought to you by Nissan.
Number 9,
former MVP
Gonzalez.
Great Scott, in quotation, short stint. Former MVP Great Scott, short stint. Send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Here's Marwin. Well, a game for Marwin. We're raving about George Springer, but Marwin not to be outdone. 3 for 3 until that ground ball to third. Pinder gets tested twice in his first inning as a third baseman and makes both plays. And a quick inning for Chris Hatcher and the A's. Still 11-0. Astros, we saw Derek Fisher warming up in the dugout last half inning, and we were worried George Springer might come out of the game, but he has not. Marwin Gonzalez has moved from left to short. And then Derek Fisher taking over in left. That means Carlos Correa has the rest of the night off, and George Springer can still go for the cycle, thanks to Julia.
Good work.
It'll be Chad Pinder, the new third baseman, as he moved from right field to third, and he drills one, and that's a fair ball towards the corner, so Fisher gets a shot right away to play one off the wall. As Chad Pinder into second base with a leadoff double in the 6th inning. Only the second hit allowed by Dallas, and the first extra base hit, just the second runner for the A's to reach second base.
Number 8, Chad Lowry.
Pinder taking advantage of the scoreboard. 11-0. Dallas is trying to get that first pitch fastball over.
Here's Jed Lowry, a walk and a strikeout. Lowry coming in with 48 hits. That's the most in the majors. Having quite a year, batting .353, second in the American League, leading the AL and RBIs. Keeps this up, we can see both Lowry and Altuve in the All-Star game for the American League. Fouls this one out of play. Jed's had his share of time with the Astros and the A's, going back and forth a couple of times. Still going with the single helmet.
Great kazoo.
Double ear flaps, the switch hitter doesn't need a second helmet.
Made sense in the minor leagues because you'd have to carry your own gear around. In the big leagues, they've got somebody that'll carry around 2 helmets if you need it.
Altuve makes that play. On the move to third goes Pinder.
Cheer on the Astros in the loudest and most energetic part of the ballpark during every Friday night home game. The Stro Zone, presented by Texas Mahindra Dealers. Fans with a May 11th Stro Zone ticket will receive an exclusive Garrett Cole Coltrane t-shirt. Visit astros.com/strozone to purchase your tickets.
If I'm an Astros fan, I want anything Garrett Cole related right now. Just saying.
Is he the best Astro on the team right now?
I mean, he's dynamic, and he's doing things that maybe even eclipsing what Justin Verlander did in his first few starts for the Astros.
Amazingly enough,
I mean, when you carry Justin over into the postseason, that's a whole different game. But Justin's 5 starts at the end of last year were crazy in terms of their dominance. But Garrett's doing the same thing with the strikeouts being off the charts. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we soon run out of words to describe Garrett Cole, and the only one that keeps really explaining what he's doing is dominant.
That last start has happened 10 times in Major League Baseball history, where you combine 16 or more strikeouts, 1 hit or fewer in a shutout. 10 times in Major League Baseball history. Nolan did it 4 of those 10 times. This will be the first run of the game as Dallas ends up giving up a chopping ground ball. And the fans here go crazy. 11-1. They have not had anything to cheer about until that run scored.
Batting right fielder, number 23, Matt Joyce.
Nolan 4 times, Kerry Wood. They just celebrated the 20-year anniversary of that.
Gosh, that was a good one too.
Outing yesterday. Kurt Schilling, Brandon Morrow, and Max Scherzer has done it twice. And that's it in the history of the game. So 10 times in MLB history, 6 pitchers. One of them is named Garrett Cole. A's get a run, but Dallas gets 3 groundouts and helps that ground ball percentage. 11-1. By Nissan, we gave you the clues: former MVP, Great Scott, and short stint. Tonight's Name That Astro, your buddy,
Miggy, love him.
Miguel Tejada, 2002 AL MVP with the Oakland A's, acquired from the Orioles in a Luke Scott trade, and hit 27 bombs in 2 years with the Astros.
It's also the reason I say impress. Miguel Tejada never finished a word the entire time I played with him in baseball.
That should have been in the clues.
Yeah, never finished a word. And my name was Blue. He never called me Blue.
No M.
It was just BLU, Blue.
Cut out the last letter.
Blue.
Wilbur Font, new pitcher. Astros saw him in his only appearance with the A's this year.
That's what I was trying to work in, the short stint. Clue with Wilmer Font, because it has been a short stint. The last time he pitched was against these Astros.
Yeah, how about that? It's been a while.
Yeah, 7 days, 2 innings he pitched against the Astros, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts.
The home run has been an issue for Font this year.
3 home runs in that inning, or 2 innings.
2 innings, but 8 on the year.
Wow.
And he has pitched a total of 12 1/3 innings and allowed 8 home runs. Well, Evan Gaddis, Josh Reddick, Max Stassi facing the hard-throwing right-hander Wilmer Fine. And a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Fine is 27 years old. Fastball around 93, 94. Curveball, slider, and splitter. Doesn't throw those very often. It's mostly fastball on that curve as Evan grounds one to third. Pinder's throw is high, but Olson's a tall first baseman, and that helps. Evan now 1 for 4.
We have an opportunity to possibly see a cycle from George Springer, who's looking for the triple, but back in 2001, in that Oakland uniform, Miguel Tejada hit for the cycle. That was the big one. What was unique about that home run is it was a grand slam.
Iggy getting it done on a night where George Springer can hit for the cycle. Just needs the triple part as Reddick swings and misses 0-1. Josh has singled, walked, scored a couple of runs, and fly to center. Fine last year was the best pitcher in the Pacific Coast League while in the Dodgers organization. Led the league in ERA, opponent's batting average, and strikeouts. Started the year with LA and appeared in 6 games before he was designated for assignment and ultimately traded to the Oakland A's, and now appearing in just his 2nd game, and both have been against the Astros.
It's apparently got good velocity too. That last pitch at 97 miles an hour.
Long time in between outings, but back out there in this 11-1 game in the 7th inning. Missing to Reddick, it's 2-2. Josh Reddick fan here at the Oakland Coliseum. Plays off and the count's full. A's pitchers have sent down 6 in a row and 8 of the last 9 hitters after the Astros sent 10 men to the plate in the 4th inning. Reddick made the final out. He also started the inning by drawing a walk.
That's the closest I've ever gotten to getting a foul ball up here.
Come on.
I swear to you.
I was like 15 feet over.
Yeah, but nothing's ever come even that close.
That's crazy you have not gotten one closer than
not
that.
even close in this ballpark.
Oh, in this park?
Yeah.
I thought you meant ever.
No, not ever. In this particular Oakland of Coliseum County Stadium.
I got you. So, have you had a foul ball in the booth?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've knocked a couple down. I haven't caught one yet.
All right. Ball 4 to Reddick. 1 out base runner.
Watch the Astros in more ways than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
If you go to knock one down in this booth and go diving for it,
he gone.
You get a little rug burn. Here's a pitch down low to Stassi. It's 1-0.
Amongst other things.
Stassi 2 doubles, an RBI, and he's also flied out to right. There he is, Mr. 3/4 to the cycle. You got a good note on a guy getting to the cycle early in the game, huh?
I did. Again,
Mike Lansing.
Mike Lansing, of all people, did it back in 2000. Appreciate good buddy Ryan Spader, who on Twitter is at the Ace of Spader. Does a good job digging up some stats, loves talking baseball.
He did that in the first 6 innings. George now is into the 7, so he can't accomplish that. But he had a shot last time up.
George now just a mere mortal.
Well, Font's having trouble with the strike zone. Walked Reddick after getting ahead, and now he's 2-0 on Stassi. Stassi splits this year much better against left-handed pitching. He had the 2 doubles against Brett Anderson and has struggled a little more against righties. That's on the corner, 2-2. Stassi 4 for 31 against righties and 9 for 18 against lefties. And he goes down swinging here. 96-mile-an-hour fastball for the second out. Julia?
It is time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And if you don't remember, George had a really tough day yesterday. He was 0 for 5, had some opportunities, but bounced back beautifully today in the leadoff spot, coming through with that leadoff double, and then crushing a ball out of this big ballpark. 8th home run, went 462 feet, adding on a couple of base hits for a 4-hit night so far. And we've seen it with George. The team goes as he goes, and tonight he's going pretty good, TK.
Yes, he is. Even that last little ground ball was ruled a hit. Has a chance for a second 5-hit game of his career. And takes a pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Guy on deck is very jealous. 5-hit game possibility. Did it June 10th, 2015 at the White Sox. Breaking ball. Good one. Strike called. 1-1. Reddick on first with 2 outs. Down to a knee on that swing.
Trying to hit that into the triple deck.
That's a cool new hangout out there, huh? The treehouse. Not a lot of fans here, but the few that are hanging out in the treehouse.
There's a lot of action up there earlier today.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you heard.
Thought we did 2 hours on the Food Network before the game. Breaking ball bounces in there. Reddick might have tried to go if the game was not 11-0.
One of your favorite chefs were up there. It's a new party deck.
Yeah, how about that?
Rumor has it they put $2 million into that deck, create a little bit better atmosphere here for the Oakland fans to enjoy and partake in baseball.
We may have a new place to check out tomorrow. That looks pretty cool.
We keep threatening to switch spots with Julia. Maybe I get to go out there.
There you go.
Enjoy some beer and games.
2 pitches fouled back. Yeah, give Julia like the Mount Davis. And
oh, she went up there one year.
yeah, I've been up
It
there.
looked terrible.
It's not great.
She went up there and the wind was, I mean, she almost got blew off that thing. It was blowing so hard.
I've been twice.
It's freezing.
Yeah, once was at night. The next time I went, it was a day game. Much better decision.
Going up there,
Still frightening, yeah.
you feel like there's not even a game going on because
Yeah.
there's nobody around.
That is a large structure.
George bidding for his 5th hit. Pinder knocks it down, and George has a 5-hit game. 5 for 5 for Springer. The last 2 have been infield hits. His second 5-hit game of his career.
Angriest man in the ballpark is walking to the batter's box right now.
Altuve's like, how can you have 2 before I have
Number
1?
27, Jose Altuve.
Altuve's, I've got you by about a good 700-800 hits, but you've got 2 5-hit games.
Altuve, as humble as you will ever find, has already told reporters, I don't think I could ever get a 5-hit game. It's too hard. Meanwhile, George has 2 now. Congratulations, Springer.
Yeah, keep it rolling. Take those hits. Get greedy.
Who knows what
More
might
is
happen?
better.
He could end up getting up another time. You never know. I mean, we're only in the 7th. Altuve drives one to right field. Pretty well hit. Joyce going back, and now he will ease up on the track and make the play in front of the wall for the final out of the inning. Altuve flies out to deep right to end the top half of the 7th, but the Astros lead 11-1, and now we're going to send it to Bart Ennis and Mike Stanton in our rooms to go lounge as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Stand up, grab your friends and family, and join us for the 7th inning.
Dallas Keuchel and those ground balls. When Dallas is going good, that ball is on the ground, and he always has that defense alert behind him. I know Alex Bregman having a little bit of a rough night, but other than that, it was a joy to play behind Dallas Keuchel because he does create those opportunities. And when guys get on, he's able to get the double play to get him out of some issues. But as a defensive player, it's always nice to play behind a guy you know that is going to pitch to contact, pitch at a good pace, and give you opportunities.
He had 4 fly ball outs first 2 innings and none since. Matt Olson has flied to left and struck out. He sends one to center field. George is there and makes the play on a well-struck baseball to center, but Olson retired for the first out of the 7th inning.
Good to see George out there fighting through this ball game.
There's another outfielder into the game. Jake Marisnick is in, but he took over for Josh Reddick.
Left fielder.
George jokingly in between innings kept looking into the dugout like, when's my turn?
Yeah, hey, I could use a little break.
AJ, fan of history.
Yeah, wants him to get it.
Already has 5 hits to Springer. Mark Canha, the batter, with 1 out and nobody on. Ooh, a breaking ball. I'm not sure if Stats got crossed up. If he did, he caught it well. It's 0-1. You get crossed up and you clank it, but Stassi caught that pitch. AJ's had George occasionally DH. Let's give him some time. And he's already got 5 hits. Figures stay with the hot hand.
Yeah, no doubt. Get your numbers up when you can.
Always that fine line for a pitcher with this big of a lead to pound the strike zone but not give up just cookies to hit. And it's 1-2. George looking in after the last half inning. He said, Jake's the new outfielder and I'm still in this?
Giving him the, come on, man. Him and AJ have a very good relationship.
He's like, really? Called 3rd strike. Canha goes down. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And Dallas picks up his 4th strikeout. AJ and his players have such a great relationship. They go back and forth like they're almost teammates.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
It's not easy to do this day and age, but if you can develop that rapport in your clubhouse, create that friendship.
AJ started out here with the A's. This is kind of the AJ Hinch tour. Diamondbacks, A's on the road.
Yeah. Went to school out here too in Palo Alto at Stanford.
There's a hard hit baseball. Jonathan Lucroy has a base hit. He's been on twice now. Lucroy 1 for 2 now with that hit. 2-out base runner for the A's.
Number 5.
Astros bullpen has not had anybody warming up all night long, as Dallas has been in control from the start with this big lead. Dallas is sitting at 81 pitches right now, with 2 outs in the 7th. Saw him go a complete game, 8 innings in a start in Seattle earlier this season. Pitch misses up to Smolinski, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Dallas needed just 96 pitches in that 8-inning complete game in a 2-1 loss. There's a strike, says Joe West. It's 1-1.
Well, I thought Dallas did a good job pitching around damage in that last start against New York, going 7 innings. 3 runs he gave up were on home. A couple of home runs from Mike Stanton. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, sorry. Max Stanton is the pitcher that we have back in the rooms to go.
There you go. Getting ready for a little Astros post-game show. Well, it should be a fun one, barring some craziness here. It's 11-1, and we're at the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Dallas has 4 strikeouts. He had 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 this inning. A lot of foul territory, and Bregman going all the way to the edge, but that's about 10 rows deep. You played 3rd here, and you just had to go after everything, right?
Absolutely. And even where that part where Alex Bregman went over to, that's built out. They've added about 3 rows into the field, because normally that extra section of seats isn't there. You had a little extra distance to go.
Here's a ground ball to Alex, who made that little run there and throws to Altuve for the 4th out for the final out of the inning. So we are through 7. Astros lead this game 11-1.
Stroke hole. Thank you as always for participating and joining us on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. Which team has been the biggest early season surprise? You say the Atlanta Braves. First place in the NL East, 55%. They win big tonight. There are your standings. That's who I would have voted for.
Nice.
Yeah, all bunched up there. The top 4 teams in the NL East, but the Braves, the biggest surprise. They earned my vote and got the majority of the votes tonight. Derek Fisher in his first at bat. Fisher, Yuli, and Alex Bregman in the 8th inning facing Wilmer Font. Fisher fouls one back. It's 1-1. You know, when we showed George looking into the dugout last half inning with his hand on his hips looking at A.J. Hinch, the other thing he may have been wondering is why is he still playing center? Because usually when Jake comes in, Jake takes over in center and George moves to right. Jake moving into right field tonight. Why?
Extra 50 feet of jogging.
Yeah, right. 2-1 to count.
These deep foul territories is a long way into that dugout.
George needs 2 runners on between now and the end of the game to get a 6th at bat, a chance for a 6-hit game.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be great. He needs not only 2 base runners, he needs base runners that don't get retired in a double play or picked off. So he needs at least 2 guys to stay on base between now and the end of the game. Fisher 3-1. And he drills one to right field. Matt Joyce going back. He's at the wall. He looks up and this ball's gone. Derek Fisher, home run. And the Astros increase their lead to 12-1. Fisher's 3rd home run of the season. And the 9th allowed by Wilmer Font.
And the home run ball getting to Wilmer. So again, you get the opportunity to get in these games. Don't give away ABs. Continue to battle. Continue to have good swings. And Derek Fisher just did. Putting that ball out of here.
The Astros home runs against Font the last time they saw him were Springer and Altuve back-to-back, and then Marwin Gonzalez.
Oh, you're going to love the numbers on this home run.
Yeah?
Yep. Off the bat,
Yep.
91.5 miles an hour.
Not very high for a home run.
Nope. Estimated 356 feet. Guess what the hit probability was?
What was launch angle?
29 degrees.
Not a high probability.
14%.
Ooh. Really?
How about that? All the complaints about Minute Maid Park. This one yanked down that right field line.
Kind of hit it in the return to greatness sign where the Raiders have a sign over there.
Turn to greatness. So they're going to Vegas? Is that really a sign?
3-0 the count.
Yeah, it is.
To
I guess.
Yuli. Yuli drew a walk his last time. His 8-game hitting streak's in jeopardy. So if he expands his own a little bit, although it's 3-0, so it's 12-1, you may not want to do too much. Doesn't have a chance up and in.
Back to that home run for Fish. Fastball on the inner third. A lot of these pitches that the Astros are hitting on pitches that have missed their spots by quite a bit. Just over that return to greatness sign.
Number 2, Alex Bregman.
Another home run allowed by Wilmer Font. 9 home runs now in 13 in the 3rd innings. Here's Bregman. All right, so it's set up, Blummer. As long as Yuli Gurriel stays on base. They've put 2 runners on in this inning. So George could get a shot at a 6th hit. Alex Bregman bats. He has grounded out 3 times. Once was a double play. He has also walked. Swings through that fastball, and he's down to the count 0-2. Everybody in the starting lineup with a hit, with the exception of Yuli, who has 2 walks, and Alex Bregman, who has a walk. 15 hits, 12 runs in this game. stays up high. Last time the Astros had a 5-hit game was Springer, and he did that again tonight. Last time the Astros had a 6-hit game was the first year they were the Astros.
Wow.
1965, July 8th, in a 12-inning game. Joe Morgan had a 6-hit game.
Of course he did. Another second baseman in Astros lore that just racks up hits.
So George has a chance to do something that hasn't happened since the first year of the Astros. That's if somebody stays on base, in this case Yuli Gurriel. 1-2 pitch is laced down the left field line. That's a double, and now George will definitely get an at-bat. Yuli will just stay at third base. Astros won't push the envelope here in this 12-1 game. Alex Bregman with a double. Now everybody on the board, with the exception of Yuli.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Marwin Gonzalez. 2-out RBIs have been an issue for the Houston Astros, but not tonight with Marwin up there, base it up the middle for a couple, and then a hanging fastball up out over the plate from Hatcher, and Marwin turned and burned on it.
Marwin did hit a home run against Font last time they faced each other in Houston. On any other night, Marwin would be the hitting star. 4 runs batted in, 3 hits. Happens to be playing on a night when George has 5, and there was a cross-up. Lucroy ended up making the catch, but he thought that was a fastball.
I thought that was a new framing style.
Even when you lead the Pacific Coast League in ERA, it's such a hitter's league.
Yeah, that's actually saying something. You can get in some trouble out there in the PCL.
The best PCL ERA last year, which was Font's 3.42. Ground ball in the hole. Marwin is out by a step as Simeon makes the play. Marwin gets himself another RBI, though. 5 RBI night for Marwin Gonzalez. And it's now 13-1.
Number 11.
First RBI is a shortstop.
It's not too often he can be overshadowed on a 5 RBI night.
Right? He's got 5 ribbies and he's the second hitting star, maybe. My goodness.
Just going up to George and going, really? You got 5 hits? Big deal. I drove in 5.
George drove in 3 and scored 3. Marwin had 5 RBIs in a game against the Rangers last May the 2nd. That included his grand slam. That is his career high. Matched tonight. Evan Gaddis bats with a pitch up and in for a ball. Gaddis 1 for 4, single to right field. Last year in that 4-game sweep to end the season series against the A's here in Oakland, they gave up 9, 11, 11, and 10. The A's just dominated them in that 4-game sweep, including a doubleheader victory. Tonight, the Astros with a little payback. They had won 10 in a row before that 4-game sweep in September. Now they're trying to start another winning streak, up 13-1 in the 8th inning. Evan with a count of 1-2. Speaking of the PCL, I was checking out some of the Fresno Grizzly numbers earlier today. J.D. Davis is hitting 425. 425.
Is that good? You said they were inflated numbers.
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of guys that hit. No, but they are a lot of guys that hit 300.
Yeah.
But not a lot of guys that hit 400. 425 is getting it done.
There's a new Ted in town.
Yeah, Ted's only hitting like 290.
Ted Davis is down there.
That's a strikeout called. Lucroy thinks it's the last out of the inning, but somebody should tell him there's only 2. The catcher has lost track of the outs. That's where we are in this game. It's a whole new RBI ball game. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated for everyone. RBI Baseball is Marwin's new nickname. Oh, Lucroy thinking he was out of the 8th.
It's been a long day for Jonathan.
Jake fouls one back. It's 0-1.
Feels like the hockey goalie from Slapshot.
One of those nights. Jake hitting his first AB, came on in right field last inning. Bounces outside, 1-1. Usually that's kangaroo court fine. I'm not sure if he gets a hall pass because it's 13-1. Usually the catcher is more aware than anybody on the field what's going on.
Yeah. All goes to a good cause at the end of the year.
Yep. One and 2 the count.
And he's a veteran on this team.
Yeah.
So he just gave some ammo to some young guys in that clubhouse.
Jake batting 153 on the year, down to the count 1 and 2. Jake hit a couple of home runs in his first 2 starts of the season. A little bit up and down though this year, 11 for 72 overall. More strikeouts than he would like. But he's been playing a great defense, usually in center field tonight. Jumping into right field late in this game. And he rips one foul towards the A's bullpen.
Oh, got down there quick.
Jake strikes out to end the top half of the 8th inning. 2 more for the Astros, 13-1.
Friday's game for pregame happy hour presented by Budweiser. The Budweiser Brew House will have music, games, and food and beer specials from 5 to 6:30 for fans attending the game. For tickets, visit astros.com/Friday nights. TK.
Thanks, Julia. Bottom half of the 8th inning. It is all Astros 13-1. Julia, I did promise I was going to ask you a Twitter question on Wait Till Twitter Tuesday, but we might not get there. So it's only, what, 11:30 Central Time?
You're basing this on Astros After Dark in Texas?
Yeah, you know. I was just curious because I saw you earlier with a tweet. You tweeted a picture out with
we have a production meeting if you go early on Twitter Tuesday. You know that, right?
With GP, Gary, and his son Dante. And she has a new profile pic. It might not be new, but new that I haven't seen. Here's a fly ball on the right, Jake a long run, and he retires Marcus Semien for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. It's kind of like a cool little drawing of her. I was just wondering if there's a story behind that.
Well, first of all, TK, that happened weeks ago.
I didn't want to say anything.
I did. A fan made this for me. She actually draws a lot of the players, and she'll put it on Instagram. And she made one for me. Isn't it adorable?
It really is cool. And
it's cool. Yeah, she's very talented, and she also brought me cookies. So
that's very cool.
She's becoming one of my favorite fans. But that
so that was a couple weeks ago that you changed?
Yes.
Twitter observations are not my strength.
Did you see the content of the tweet just now, though?
It's Too Legit to Quit has not been played.
I'm very concerned.
There's a ball hit hard to center field for a base hit. You're concerned because you haven't had a chance to dance? They play good dance music here.
No, I mean, you don't go to an A's game without hearing it.
Oh my gosh.
It's cold.
It is frigid.
I was needing the Too Legit song to come on so I could dance, warm up, get the blood flowing. Seagull's on standby.
Are you cold?
I'm cold now, yes.
When did that happen?
At the top of the 7th.
Okay.
That's
Is that
me.
you?
Oh gosh. Is it?
No.
Wow.
Tucked away in the Rally Possum's home.
Yeah, that's usually what she looks like on the plane flights. Fully cocooned, taking a nap.
0-1 the count to Jed Lowry. Could be history tonight, though, Julia, so stay tuned. George Springer. Oh, 2 the count. Thanks for having AJ keep George in there. We appreciate that.
Of course. Surprised you guys didn't hear me yelling at him from up there. I can hear everything that the fans in left field are saying. And I'm past first base. I'm not kidding. I can hear when they're ragging on Derek Fisher, I can hear it.
Do they rag on him after the home run?
Yeah. These fans, you know how they are.
Yeah. 73-60. That's the attendance tonight, Julia. So I can understand how you can hear almost everybody in the stadium.
I can hear you guys.
Seriously?
During the commercial breaks.
We're loud talkers.
Jed Lowry is the batter. Dallas allowing a 1-out single. Still no movement in the Astros bullpen. Dallas is sitting at 94 pitches. I'm sure AJ would prefer, if he wants to have Dallas finish this game off, 13-1. But now the count's full on Jed Lowry. Lowry 0 for 2 with a walk today. One other game still going on in Major League Baseball. Our buddies down in San Diego, Don Orsillo and Mark Grant, working the game as Washington has taken on the Padres. Everything else a final tonight. Mentioned only one other American League game. The Rangers beat the Tigers in that one. George Springer's average started the night at 264. He's up to 288. And he's going to get a chance to make a play here on Jed Lowry. George waits for it, puts it away for out number 2. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, Josh Reddick sets an example with his passionate playing style.
Your attention, please.
George Springer helps reopen a baseball field, and Preston Wilson breaks down the art of robbing a home run. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Fridays before the pregame show and re-airing all week only on AT&T Sportsnet. Designated hitter spot is due up, and Bruce Maxwell will pinch hit for Chris Davis. Davis ended up with the only RBI of the night on a ground out, scoring a run. He was 0 for 3. Maxwell facing Dallas Keuchel here. And he takes a called strike. Maxwell batting 161. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter as Tony Sipp loosens up. Maxwell fouls one away. It's 0-2. Said AJ would love to see Dallas finish it, but if he has to get to 110 or more pitches, that might change his mind. And right now he's sitting at 99. And with Dallas reaching 100 pitches now and 1 inning to go, you may see Sipp or somebody else finish off this game. Either way, it's been a good outing for Dallas Keuchel.
All the way around, he's done great on the mound. He's also gotten the run support he's always wanted.
This ball hit well into left center field. Maxwell, the pinch hitter, drills one to the wall. Springer will dig it out. They might have a play at the plate. Marwin's throw is in time. Springer to Marwin to Stassi, and they get Pinder trying to score on the double by Bruce Maxwell. What a tag by Stassi to hold on to that ball and put the tag on at the same time.
That was incredible.
Bob Melvin is going to wait to see if they want to challenge this one. That ball was right on top of the runner, Pinder. No challenge.
It's a great swing by Maxwell, but the relay throw coming in, and credit Max Stassi for hanging in there to keep an earned run off the board for his battering mate Dallas Keuchel.
Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. All Astros tonight as they lead heading into the 9th inning by the score of 13-1. Max Stassi, who made that defensive play to finish off the bottom half of the 8th inning, will lead things off. And then it's George Springer with a chance at a 6-hit game. Stassi's had a nice game, not only with that defensive play, but he also has a couple of doubles and an RBI tonight. What a play for Max, keeping an earned run off Dallas Keuchel's ledger.
That was really impressive.
Dallas goes 8 innings of 5-hit, 1-run baseball. Tony Sipp's still warming up in the Astros bullpen, so Dallas's night looks like it'll be done. And there is Springer waiting patiently on deck for his 6th at bat. Already 5 for 5. Ball strike, 1-2.
Saw Garrett Cole get a 16 strikeout game. Why not see a 6-hit game? Finished off with a triple for the cycle.
How about that? That'll be a way to close things out. Joe Morgan, July 8th, 1965. Took him 12 innings.
Wow.
So Springer could become the first Astro to do it in a 9-inning regulation game. The last Astro to pick up 6 hits in a game was back in the first year of the Astros. Stassi takes one to the dirt, 2-2. Homer Vaughn already has pitched 2 innings in this game, pitching for the 3rd inning. He's allowed a couple of runs so far. And a chopper towards 3rd. Pinder is there. And that's the first out of the night. Some of the more recent 6-hit games. Andrew McCutcheon got 6 most recently. Brandon Crawford had a 7-hit game a couple years ago.
Man, 2016 was the year of the 6 to 7 hits, huh? Wow.
So here's George. Started out the game with a double. Followed that up with a 3-run home run. Then a single into left field. His last 2 hits have been infield hits. One on the right side of the diamond. And one towards 3rd base. Not his best swing of the night. It's 1-1.
No, he was sitting 95 and got the slider.
Altuve, who's never had a 5-hit game, watching his teammate go for number 6 on the evening. Towards the middle. There it is. 6-hit game for George Springer. The first Astro since the first year of the Houston Astros when Joe Morgan did it. Congratulations, George.
Record-setting night.
The team was telling him to keep running in 3rd.
Go Little League triple on him.
6 hits in 1 game.
Instead, George is just going to settle for a 6-hit game.
Now, do you think Altuve feels like he can get to 5? You just saw George get to 6.
Just one-upped him.
Yeah.
Gosh, 6 hits in a 9-inning ball game.
Altuve, big swing, and Lucroy took that one off the mask. Altuve 1 for 5. Last time up, he hit a deep fly ball to right. Athletic trainer Nick Paparesta out there to take a look at Lucroy.
Can't even imagine how that felt. That's pretty incredible.
George has more hits tonight than the A's.
That's saying something.
They're telling him to go to 3rd.
Yeah, JV wanted him to keep going.
6 hits. How about Correa still out there cheering along? He's left the game about 4 or 5 innings ago. Lucroy fine as we're back underway with a 1-1 count to Altuve. Altuve hit a home run against Font back at Minute Maid Park. Font's first appearance as a member of the A's. There's a base hit into center field. Springer will take it 90 feet at a time at this point. So he stops at second. Altuve 2 for 6. I'll bring up Derek Fisher, who hit a home run his last time against Font.
Derek Fisher.
18 hits in the game to 5 for the A's. George has 6. Altuve has 2. Marwin has 3. Stassi, or as he's known in Oakland, Stassi, has 2. There's a called strike. Fisher has a chance for his second hit, getting his second at bat. Came on in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Called strike. Font was a starter all of last year. This year working out of the bullpen first for the Dodgers and now for the A's. Been a tough year so far. He gets Fisher there. Foul tip caught by Lucroy.
We've got the reigning hit king bowing to the current hit king. 6. Even Altuve says, wow.
Number 10, Yuli.
That's good stuff right there. These guys love to have fun, and it's been a fun night all around.
And they enjoy watching their teammates have success. That's the beauty in it too. There is no jealousy whatsoever throughout that dugout or that clubhouse. These guys are cheering each other on.
A 6 is a big one. That's twice in franchise history, or at least Astros history. Not sure if it was ever done as a member of the Colt 45s getting it done, but at least 54 seasons of baseball. Yuli didn't think he'd have another chance to extend his hitting streak when he walked in the 8th as the second batter of that inning. But here he is in the 9th, and there is his hitting streak. Yuli's up to a 9-game streak. George will trot home. So Yuli ends up with an RBI as well. 14-1. 19th hit of the game.
There's going to be a lot of love in that dugout for George Springer after what he just accomplished.
What a game. What a night. 4 runs scored, 6 hits, home run, 3 RBIs.
I wonder what the health data analytics say about 6-hit games. Do you need 2 days off after that, or can you go out there and play tomorrow?
That's right.
It's a lot of hitting and running.
That's why AJ kept him in.
Yeah, now he's thanking AJ. He's not mad at him.
See what happens when I play you all 9? Set a record. Everybody in the starting lineup now with a base hit now that Yuli's on the board. It's a little bit of an unusual night when Yuli's the last one of the 9 to get a hit. But he keeps his 9-game hitting streak alive. And Bregman 1 for 4 with a double and a walk.
There were a lot of people in Houston watching this ball game and hanging on, seeing what the Astros continue to do as Alex Bregman launches one.
That'll score another run or 2. In comes Yuli after Jose Altuve. 2 RBI double for Alex Bregman. And the Astros keep piling on.
That's getting greedy and keeping your runners in scoring position average up by being able to do that. That's going to bring out Bob Melvin. What a night for the Astros.
16-1, 20 hits. Wilmer Font is going to be taken out of the game. Marwin Gonzalez already has 5 RBIs. He'll bat again when we come back. Batting in the 9th inning, they already have 20 hits. This one started quickly for the Astros, scoring 2 in the first, 3 in the second. It just kind of continued all night.
Yeah, snowballing might be the understatement, but these guys are going out raking, and we hear ex-players say it all the time. When you get those hits, get greedy, get more, take advantage of the situation, because these opportunities don't come along all that often, and these guys are putting a pounding to the A's.
6 for George. That's a big one.
That's a great one.
That's a big
historic.
Historic night tonight as Marwin Gonzalez, he has 5 RBIs.
Ho hum.
I mean, normally that's our lead story, but 5 RBIs tonight takes second stage to a 6-hit performance by George. Marwin matching his career high with those 5 runs batted in. Also did it May 2nd of last year against the Rangers. 4 of them came on a slam. Tonight he has a 2-run home run, a 2-run single, and an RBI ground out. Back to batting right-handed as he faces Danny Coulomb. And he rips one, but caught by Pinder. Kind of fitting the Astros' night ends with a line drive for an out. 16-1.
Falls on the big 3 in wins and losses, and this is a big win today, and some of these numbers making a big jump. In wins, George is at 318, Altuve at 391, and Carlos Correa, that's a 400 average. They rely on these guys for production. They rely on them to get things going and win ball games. How about the discrepancy between 400 batting average and a 164 average when in losses for Carlos Correa? These guys carry a lot of the weight.
This This will be the 22nd win. So those RBI and runs totals pretty much won a game in victories for the Astros. Tonight, Springer 6 for 6, 4 runs, 3 RBIs. Tony Sipp, the new pitcher. He'll face Matt Joyce, the first hitter. Joyce came on as part of a double switch defensively, getting his first at bat. Runs, home run, 3 RBI, 6 for 6. Altuve, who just cranks out 200 hits a year, showed his deference to the man with 6 hits. And then Carlos Correa, who left the game early, 1 for 3 with a walk and a couple runs. Left the game early because of the score.
Yes. Such mediocre numbers when you put up a 6 for 6.
Right. Joyce into left field. Fisher a long run, still going, and he makes the catch just as he crosses into foul territory. For out number 1 in the ninth.
Now batting first baseman, number 28.
So I'll bring up Matt Olson.
I was about to say before Alex Bregman broke up my thought process with that booming double to left center field was that there's still a lot of people hanging in, watching this ball game, enjoying what the Astros are going out doing. But how many of them figured out the Astros have this in the bag about 8 runs ago? Went to sleep. They're going to wake up tomorrow, read a box score, and see that George Springer knocked out 6 hits.
I'm going to say there's a percentage of our audience that stuck around because of George.
Have to. Not only, he was in lines 3 for 3 going for the cycle those last 3 at bats, and then they end up watching 3 more hits.
First Astro ever with 6 hits in a 9-inning game. He has out-hit the entire A's lineup tonight. Astros with 20 hits and 16 runs. What did George end up tonight with his batting average? Because he came in batting, he's up to 288 going into his last at bat. Now he's at 292. So he went up 28 points tonight with a 6 for 6.
It's incentive to go out and get hits.
Jamming to the drums.
Yeah, they got us swinging time and in rhythm. For what? I have no idea.
And he'll lead the Fortnite jubilation dance here in a couple of batters, hopefully.
That.
0-2 the count to Matt Olson, lefty on lefty. That one's upstairs. It's 1-2. Tomorrow will be Lance McCullers Jr. against the guy who won American League Pitcher of the Month in the month of April, Sean Manaea. Swing and a foul tip caught by Stassi. Normally they'd argue that and say the ball hit the ground, but in this 16-1 game, probably not going to have that big discussion. There's 2 outs. Sipp coming in and getting 2 outs, and now Mark Canha, the last batter for the A's. Canha 0 for 3, reached on an error. Good start to this series. Astros trying to even up this road trip at 2 apiece, 1 out away. And they will snap a 4-game losing streak here in Oakland. Process, the Astros will improve on the road this year to 12-6 compared to 10-9 at home. That ball's hit hard, but at the left fielder Fisher, who goes back and he can't make the play. Looked like he thought he had it lined up, and then it went over his glove. That'll be a 2-out double for Mark Canha.
Well, TK, you jumped the gun earlier, but happy Twitter Tuesday.
It's Twitter Tuesday. Astros After Dark has begun officially.
And there are a lot of people still on Twitter.
Really?
Yes, we love you for that.
I saw one guy earlier tweet from the 50th state, so always appreciate those tweets from Hawaii. We did the state game earlier this year.
And that was amazing.
That was really cool.
We got global, I think, that day.
A few people are saying they stuck around to see George's 6 hits, huh?
Yep. Smart fans, they know what they're doing. But you are appreciated.
So somebody tweeted whether it was more rare to hit for the cycle or have a 6-hit game.
Yeah.
And our esteemed producer, Carl Patterson, has done some research. 257. What would you guess?
257 cycles.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Do you think there's more or less 6-hit?
Less.
You're right. 107 6-hit games.
Wow. Just 107.
So we saw something today that is more than twice as rare as a cycle.
And that is with the George Springer cycle in there. 107. Wow. 16 punch-out game to start this road trip, and now you've got George with the 107th 6-hit game.
They didn't really keep records very well before 1913, so that's 1913 on. So in 105 years, you saw something that happened 107 times. Jake Marisnick can't quite make that play. It's over his head. He doesn't know where it is momentarily. Now he finds it. And the A's will score a run in this inning on back-to-back doubles. Jonathan Lucroy ended up with a good night for the A's. He has 2 hits and a walk and 3 at-bats and drives in the second run. So now the A's do have more hits than George Springer.
Now batting center fielder, number 5, Jake Smolinski.
There's Jake Smolinski. We're going to show tweets on Twitter Tuesday.
There it is.
Kelly's
Still
still
here.
loving every minute of it. Michael's one of those that stayed up to witness history. Studying for finals time. I would think this was a game you could watch and still study for finals.
Yes.
It didn't have to really hang on every pitch.
Well, you could kind of check out at the bottom of the inning, couldn't you?
There you go. Repartee keeps me up this late. Nice. Thank you, Bill. And now you've got to stay up for post-game show. Ooh, there's a nice stop by Marwin, which keeps a run from scoring. That'll be another base hit. Jake Smolinski with an infield hit. 3 hits in a row for the A's here. As the Astros still looking for that final out of this contest. Because you have to stick around for Astros post-game show, because I'm going to assume that Julia's going to interview Springer at some point. So that's always good TV.
That will be good TV.
Or you could always, if you're really, really tired and you have to work early tomorrow, you could always DVR it. But either way, keep your TV tuned to AT&T Sportsnet.
There are a ton of people watching.
Are there?
Trying to get back to all of them. This is amazing.
They were all aware about Julia's new profile pic except for me. I was the last one.
You were. What's more rare, George getting his 6th hit or you not keeping up on Twitter?
Well played, sir. Well played. I do keep up on Twitter. I'm just not observant. I just didn't notice that her profile pic had changed. And that's a cool story behind it. I'm glad I asked. 1-1 the count. 6 a.m. meeting. Come on, Dustin.
Yeah, that's
a little excessive. 5 p.m. in New Zealand.
What?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, this should do it. Let George make the catch. You have to. George Springer finishes off a 6-hit night with the final put out of the game, and the Astros win 16-2 with 20 hits. Springer and the rest of the outfielders do the jubilation dance, courtesy of Fortnite, and Springer had himself a record-setting night. Just he and Joe Morgan, the only Astros ever with 6 hits in a game, and Morgan did it in the first year of the Houston Astros in 1965. We'll have more, including the post-game show, Dallas the win, and the Astros cruise 16-2.
Out of way.